Group 7 did a great job. Let's talk about Ellie first. She is confident as usual. She's pronunciation is good, so I can listen clearly. And then it's about Jack. I think he is better than the previous performance. He speaks fluently and confident. Last is Fanny. I think she put a lot over in this presentation. She speaks fluently like previous presentation. She probably say she like now. She speaks fluently. I just want to say that. She speaks fluently and become more confident. This is the end of my part. Let me give her to say.
I'm in charge of their high-low context culture part. And at the final slide of their high-low context culture, I assume that they are talking about you are in a long-term orientation. Long-term orientation. And you will have planned for the future. You won't just do things whatever you want. And when you are in short-term orientation, you just go for whatever you wanted to do. And next, I would like to talk about a very interesting cultural differences that I recently read. The article is about Finland's citizens. They are afraid of social events. For example, there are several things that they are very afraid of. The first one.
I think you maybe need to speak up using the microphone. I just follow the score and complain about the dogs.
The first thing is that when you go to the supermarket and you want to try something that on the shop,
Okay, could you repeat from the very beginning? How was it about? Because I missed the first part.
Hi, I'm in charge of their high-low context culture part. And I think from the final slide of their high-low context culture part, there's two roles. In the long-term orientation, people would plan for their future and make sure that every step is already think through. And while in short-term orientation, people just do what they think and they just go for it. And next, I would like to talk about a very interesting cultural differences in Finland. There are people there. They are afraid of social events.
They are afraid of social events.
They are afraid of interact with others. For example, when they go to supermarket and they want to try something that the staff is holding, although they really want to try it, but they won't do it because they are afraid of interact with others. And there's obvious thing that we can see that they really need lots of personal space. It's when they are waiting in line, they would have a very big distance like this. Everyone will have a very long distance with each other. It's true. To conclude, we have talked about their stage performance and their high-low context culture part. And we really think Group 7 did a great job. Now I would like to give the floor to Group 2.
Good morning, we are Group 2. I'm Tsailing and this is my team member, Liang. And today our comment divided into two parts. I will be in charge Group 7's stage performance, and then Jin will talk about their high-low context culture. So let's start with their stage performance first. First, I want to talk about Benny's stage performance. I think she is more confident than before, and I can see she put a lot of effort to prepare this presentation. And to Ellie, I think she is as professional as usual. And even though today is very noisy, and she can still stay calm and finish her line. And I think if I was her, I won't keep calm like her. I will get very anxious to do a presentation. And to Jay, I think he make a lot of progress. He can have a eye contact with the audience and have a fluent speech. And this is my comment about their stage performance. Now I would like to give my floor to Jin.
Can I don't use the mic? No, you have to.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jin, and today I'll talk about high and low context culture. And in this part, Jay told us about many differences in thinking between high and low context culture, and it can be divided into two dimensions. One is long-term orientation, and the other is short-term orientation. As for long-term orientation, like Taiwan, we would think too much before doing something, because we care how others think of ourselves. So there's kind of altruism. And for instance, if we are homosexual, we would like our parents and others to accept and support us. So that's why Taiwan became the first country in Asia that legalized the same-sex marriage. And instead, as for short-term orientation, like United States, they wouldn't think too much before doing something, because they would just do whatever they like, and no matter how others think of them. And so they can be called as egoism. And this is the end of my comment. And in conclusion, we have talked about stage performance in high-low context culture. And now we are going to give floor to Group 3. Thank you.
Hello everyone, you are Group 3. I'm Dora Zhang Xuchen. This is Luna Chen Youshen, and this is Alice Xie Shaojun. And this is Sharon Zhang Yanning. Today we divide our comment into 4 parts. First, I will focus on their activity part. Then Luna will talk about their high and low contest culture. And then Alice will focus on their stage performance. And finally, Sharon will talk about their PowerPoint design and make a brief conclusion. So now, let me start with their activity part. I am impressed by their hard work, and I think they are thoughtful, because before they start their activity part, they have a vocabulary and introduce us 3 vocabulary, and then they design the long dialogue. I think it's really great, and because from they introducing their own company to making a counter offer, and then both of them agree with the final deal. I think this is a comprehensive dialogue, so I appreciate that. And this is the end of my comment. Next, I will give the floor to Luna.
Hi, I'm Luna Chen Youxuan. Today I'm going to discuss the high and low contest cultural parts now. And I think that Jay made a lot of improvement on his presentation first, and he also used an example and also talked deeply with this part. Although I know that this part is quite difficult and hard to be explained, but he tried his best to let us understand it more. So in this part, we can know that people from the long-term orientation culture, that they will think more and deeply from every aspect before they make a decision or do something. But on contrast, that people from short-term orientation culture, they will not think so much, and they will just try it and do it. So, in my opinion, I think that when I do a shopping or maybe spend some money, I will maybe in the short-term orientation culture, because I won't think so much. I just like it and spend it. But maybe in my just like right now that we are going to graduate, we will think a lot about what we are going to do after graduation, and also think a lot of aspects like my parents, and also what can we do and how we have to save money, like every aspect of that. So I think maybe we will not only belong to one long-term orientation or maybe short-term orientation, but every different aspect we will in different culture, maybe. Yes, and this is the end of my part. I would like to give the floor to Alice.
Hi everyone, I'm Alice Shaojun. So I'm in charge of, I'm going to talking about Group 7 stage performance. So first for Fanny, because I'm coming late, so I didn't see how her present, but for my team members' opinions, she did a really good job. And even though she is a little bit nervous to forget some lines, but she used her own word to explain the vocabulary. So I think she really did a good job. And next for Ellie, I think she is as perfect as usual, and she she didn't forget any lines of her parts, even with the meaning of the vocabulary. And also for Jay, I think he did a really big improvement from the previous presentation. I remember that at that time when he did the presentation, he forgot his lines and also left on the stage. But this time he is so confident to present his own part. And he explained it in a very detailed way with some appropriate gestures. So I think he really did a good job. So it's the end of my comment. I will give the floor to Sharon.
Good morning, I'm Sharon Zhang. Now I would like to talk about Group 7's PowerPoint design. First, I think the font is big enough so it can be seen clearly from the back. And in the vocabulary part, they are considerate. They highlight the vocabulary in the example sentence, and they also put the Chinese meaning beside it. And moreover, they also insert the related photos on each slide, so it can help us to understand the meaning easily. And in conclusion, our group has mentioned the activity part, high-level contest, stage performance, and PowerPoint design. We think that Group 7 really did a great job, so let's give them a big hand. Next, I would like to give the floor to Group 4.
Good morning, we are Group 4. I'm Judy Guohui. They are my group member, Catherine Xu and Juju Chen Pinqi. We divide our comment into 3 parts. First, I will talk about Fanny's performance. Next, Catherine will give her comment on Ellie's presentation. And finally, Juju will talk about jazz part and high-level contest culture. So let's get started with Fanny's part. I think she's focused a lot of parts today. First of all, she introduced the content of their presentation very clearly in the beginning. And after that, she taught us 5 vocabularies in scenario 2 very clearly, and also put the word on the PPT very big enough so we can learn the vocabulary easily. And after that, she and Ellie present the scenario, the conversation in scenario 2. They all speak very fluently. And after that, she do some preposition practice with us and let us have deep impression with that vocabulary. And also, I came here at about 9:30, so I saw they very rehearsal. And Fanny have some short pauses in the middle of her sentence, but she keep practicing. So in the real presentation, I think she didn't have the problem. So I think she presented very well and did a good opening of their presentation. This is the end of my comment. I'm going to give the floor to Catherine.
Good morning, I'm Catherine Xu, and now I'm going to talk about Ellie's part. And in today's presentation, she was in charge of scenario and listening practice and the activity part. And in the listening practice, before the listening practice, she taught us some important vocabulary. And I think she really did a great job because she used her own words to explain the meaning. And she used a very short but clear explanation that it's really easy for us to understand the meaning quickly. And in the activity part, she had very many lines, but she had a good memory that she didn't forget and miss any lines. So I think she really put a lot of efforts in today's presentation. But she's really performance really professional and perfect today. And this is the end of my comment. I would like to give the floor to Juju.
I'm afraid my voice too loud, so I will not use the microphone. No, please use it. Okay. I will turn it on.
Hello everyone, I'm Gigi. Today I'm going to talk about J-Sport and the high-level contest culture. And in J-Sport, I think he did very good job and improved himself than before, because in last three presentation, we can see Jay was nervous in the presentation, and in this time, I think he has a little nervous, but not nervous than as before. So I think he improved himself a lot. And in the high-low complex culture part, I think he did a good job as well, because he used the easy word to explain the complicated theories to us, and let us to know the theory more clearly. And this part, I remembered a special experience is that in last semester we have a course about business data. And in this course, one time we, in a book, they have a game. It's about to run a business. And I think in the first, in that game, most people failed in the beginning, because I didn't remember it's the first or the second question is to ask us, are you going to run a business and you need to drop out your education or drop out your courses, and you will do it, you choose yes, and if you're not, you choose no. And most people fail because they choose no. So I think in the high context culture, people will think a lot of things about after I drop out the education, or I not to finish the work, and I will have what kind of risk, and they will afraid of this, so they will not going to do the things they want. But in the low context culture, just like jobs, I have learned a speech is about he dropped out the education because he want to do the business he want to run. So he dropped out of school and do the business and become success. So I think this is the big difference between the high and low context culture. So, and in conclusion, we think today's presentation, Group 7 did a very good job, and we really learned a lot from their presentations. So this is the end of our comments. Next, I will give the floor to Group 5.
Good morning, everyone. We are Group 5. My name is Tsailing. There are my group members, Cindy Wen Minghui, Liang, and Anna Hunyonghua. Today, our presentation could be divided into 4 parts. First, I'm going to talk about the activity part. Then Cindy will focus on Benny's part, and then Ian will continue with Ellie and Jay's stage performance. Lastly, Anna will be in charge of the high-low context culture part. First, let's start with the activity. I think Group 7 really put a lot of effort in this presentation, especially the activity part, because they had to come up with a whole new conversation. And they also explain the important words before the dialogue. And the dialogue was very complete and comprehensive. And I think it is also very smart of them to have a short quiz right after the dialogue to check audiences' understanding of their dialogue. And this is the end of my comment. Now I would like to give my floor to Cindy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cindy. In my part, I'm going to focus on Fanny's performance. As we can see, she is in charge of many parts in the presentation. I appreciate and also admire that she put a lot of effort in the presentation. Also, she can memorize many lines. And also, In this presentation, she became more professional and confident. Compared with her previous presentation, she often stopped when she saying a sentence. But in this presentation, she can speak out loud and fluently. After her presentation, I learned many vocabularies, such as first aid kit. It's a box which contains medical instrument that can deal with emergencies, health situation. And the second one is tactic. It's a way or solution to deal with problem or achieve a goal. And this is the end of my comment. Next, I will give the floor to Ian.
Good morning, I'm Ian. Today I'm in charge of the stage performance of Aliens and Jizz. And first, Ellie, I think she really did a good job because she holds a great composures on the stage as usual. And as you can see, she really put a lot of effort. She makes his presentation very interesting and make everyone interested in her presentation. I think it's the most important thing that make everyone interested in someone's presentation. And next year, I think although he looks like a little bit nervous, but he really did a great job and he did his best. And he also remembered all the line of his part. And about their scenario part, I think it's very natural. It's just looks like they really plan to make a charity banquet. So I think it's really good. And I think they all did a great job. And so this is the end of my comments. I will give the floor to Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna Huang Youhua. I would like to talk about the part of high and low context culture. In this part, before starting today's topic, Jay shared 6 types of cultural features in high and low context culture proposed by Hofstede. I think it is informative. Besides, people in high context culture seem to be deeply influenced by the concepts of Confucianism. Like me, I always think a lot before I decide to do something. So my friend or my family always tell me just try it or just do it. Maybe I need to change my thoughts and get a balance on concepts between long-term orientation and short-term orientation. This is the end of my feedback. To sum up, our group has talked about Group 7's good performance in the part of activity, high and low context culture, and their stage performance. This is the end of our comment. Let me give my floor back to Group 7.
Thanks for your comments. Now I would like to show you our inside story video. And this is our work assignment. And now we would like to share our feedback with you. Hello everyone, I'm Ali Valentin. This is my second collaboration with Jay and Fanny, and it's also the last time. It's a very great experiences to me. I'm very appreciate their efforts in the presentation. For example, Jay, this time he's in charge of the high and low content culture. There are many professional contents in this part. He really put a lot of